जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेदाविनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम् वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्ममृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देही नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याद्धियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम् अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य चाकीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः बहुमतः भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किं हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि एषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्यविपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपराः जन्मकर्मफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणाफलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम् यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि। अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते। दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम्। तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते। यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः। वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति। प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते। प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते। नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिः अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्। इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनोनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि। तस्माद्यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः आपूर्यमाणमचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत्कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्थ नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति। ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे सांख्ययोगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः कर्मयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच ज्यायसि चेत् कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजयसि केशव व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनां न कर्मणामरारम्भात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक् देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यथ इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवाः दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः तैर्दत्तानप्रदायैभ्यः यो भुङ्क्तेस्तेन एव सः यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात् अन्नाद्भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम् एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयति हयः अघायुरिन्द्रिया रामः मोघं पार्थ स जीवति यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः नाकृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पूरुषः कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तदेवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि यदि ह्यहं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः उत्सीदेयुरिमे लोकाः न कुर्यां कर्म चेदहं संकरस्य च कर्ता स्याम् उपहन्यामि माः प्रजाः सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसः यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्याद्विद्वांस्तथा सक्तः चिकीर्षुर्लोकसङ्ग्रहं न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत् अज्ञानां कर्मसङ्गिनां जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन् प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्मविभागयोः गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा न सज्जते प्रकृतेर्गुणसम्मूढाः सज्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् कृत्स्नविदो मन्दान् कृत्स्नविन्न विचालयेत् मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवाः श्रद्धावन्तो न सूयन्तः मुच्यन्ते तेऽपि कर्मभिः ये त्वेतदभ्यसूयन्तः नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान् चेतसः सदृशं चेष्टते स्वस्याः प्रकृतेर्ज्ञानवानपि प्रकृतिं यान्ति भूतानि निग्रहः किं करिष्यति इन्द्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्नवशमागच्छेत् तौ ह्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात् स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः परधर्मो भयावहः अर्जुन उवाच अथ केन प्रयुक्तोऽयं पापं चरति पूरुषः अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजितः श्रीभगवानुवाच काम एष क्रोध एषः रजोगुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्येनमिह वैरिणम् धूमेनाव्रियते वह्निः यथादर्शो मलेन च यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः तथा तेनेदमावृतम् आवृतं ज्ञानमेतेन ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणा कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूरेणानलेन च इन्द्रियाणि मनोबुद्धिः अस्याधिष्ठानमुच्यते एतैर्विमोहयत्येषः ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम् तस्मात् त्वमिन्द्रियाण्यादौ नियम्य भरतर्षभ पाप्मानं प्रजहिह्येनम् ज्ञानविज्ञाननाशनम् इन्द्रियाणि पराण्याहुः इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः यो बुद्धेः परतस्तु सः एवं बुद्धेः परं बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्यात्मानमात्मना जहि शत्रुं महाबाहो कामरूपं दुरासदम् ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे कर्मयोगो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः।
ओम नमः परमर्षिभ्यो नमः परमर्षिभ्यः हरिः ओम। उपासकानां यदुपासनीयम् उपात्तवासं वटशाखिमूले तद्धाम दाक्षिण्यजुषा स्वमूर्त्यां जागर्तु चित्ते मम बोधरूपम् अद्राक्षम् अक्षीणदयानिधानम् आचार्यमाद्यं वटमूलभागे मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तं विद्राविताशेषतमो गणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्य मायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महान् तत्त्वमसीति बोधम् ममाद्य देवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात् कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तमपाकरोतु श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरम् लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं गुरुम् अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनाम् सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி இருக்கிற ஒரு மைக்கு ஆள கிடைக்கலையா பாருங்க நீங்கள் அது பாருங்க ஊக்கிண்டே இருக்கு அவளுக்கு அது சரியா இல்லைன்னு கூட தெரிய மாட்டேங்கிறது அது கூட தெரிய மாட்டேங்கிறது அவளுக்கு எத்தனை வருஷமாச்சு நம்ம இதே ப்ராப்ளம் எல்லாருக்கு கேட்கணுமே அது ஒன்று தானே முக்கியம் அதெல்லாம் இல்லை ஒரு சப்தமே சரியில்லை எனக்கு கோல்டு வந்தால் பரவாயில்ல அதுக்கு கோல்டு வந்தால் என்ன பண்ணுறது இல்லை இங்கே இருக்கிற ஹேண்டிலிங் பற்றி அவள் கஷ்டப்படவே வேண்டாம் அது நமக்கு தெரியும் सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं मृतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः இது ஆரம்பிச்சோமா இல்லையா we will start the first shloka Arjuna uvacha sannyasam karmanam krishna पुनर्योगं च शंससि यच्छ्रेययेतयोरेकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम् This chapter which we are starting is sannyasa yoga. Sannyasa yoga means simply jnana yoga. As we said yesterday, jnanam is sannyasa. Because when you recognize the self, not even knowing the self, recognition of the Atma, self. That power to recognize the self. It is just like this wearing the glass and through that searching for the glass. Where did I keep my spectacle? Searching for it. And somebody tells you, it is right on your face, nose. Oh, you recognize. This is called pratyabhijna, recognition, recognition. Cognition also is already there. Your attention is turned towards that. This we call as Shraddha. The last chapter, Bhagavan said, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Not sadhanavan, Shraddhavan. Sadhana is to purify the power of attention. When the attention is purified, refined, distilled, and turned towards the knower, one's own swarupa, labhate jnanam. Their jnanam means atma, swarupam, not knowledge. We generally translate it as knowledge. Something the brain gathers, some alphabets. It is not that. It is recognition of the Nithya Siddha Vastu. Ramana Bhagavan tells in Ulladinarpadu, Tamil, very beautiful. Siddhamai ulporulai terndirithal siddhi. The attainment is recognizing the ever attained. Revelation of the ever revealed. The focus is turned towards something which is very intimate to us, that is our own I. Constantly we are saying I. But the attention never is turned towards that. And when you seek the I, removing one by one the body, the mind, and at last this I thought. And the I thought is also not constantly there, it also vanishes in deep sleep. And there are very many moments when the I thought is not operating. And that vacant space, there is something full, whole. The state where the I thought does not erupt, arise. And what is there is absolute cleanliness. And deliberately using that word. Because we are searching for cleanliness, purity. Try to purify the body will never become pure. Try to purify the mind also will never become pure. First of all, thought itself is impurity. And without thought, where is mind? And the intellect also never become pure. And go deeper, and touch that something which is absolutely pure, which is incorruptible, which is, you cannot pollute it. There you find real purity. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. Nothing is purifying like jnanam. And the purity that you attain, it is not some purity which is time bound. When you touch that purity, you recognize you were pure, you are pure, you will be pure. Not that from now onwards, after taking bath, I am pure. No. Before also, I thought I was impure. Then also, no impurity has touched me. Just like some film, some movie is happening in the screen. The movie cannot make any scratch in the film, the screen. Even if there is tsunami in the movie, the screen will not become wet. Even if there is fire in the movie, the screen will not be burnt. Like that, the screen behind all this which is happening, Chittiramam idellam Shemmalaye ninpale uttidamai nindre odungum. As Ramana Bhagavan says, all these names and forms arise, stay and merge in that screen. And that screen eternally remains free from all movies. Even while you are seeing the movie, the screen does not recognize the movie. Nothing is happening. Like that, the real nature of the self is asangata. Asangata you can practice, When we say detachment, sometimes people get bored. You become detached with everything. Life becomes meaningless. And sometimes you see saints, even realized beings, they seem to be very attached. And they tell you to be detached. You see Bhagavan Ramana, he will look like, a photo you see, so much detached. But many devotees have told, sometimes they will stay for 1 week with him and go. They will be crying. Tears will be there in his eyes also. At the same time, next moment, nothing touches there. Asango hi ayam purushaha. This is a Mahavakya. Mahavakya means the maxim. Telling what is eternally there. This Purusha, this Atma is always Asanga. It is not at all touched by anything. So the detachment that arises from awakening, from knowledge, from recognition of the self is different from the detachment that you mentally practice. Mentally, when you practice detachment, there is some kind of pollution in it. Selfishness will be there. These politicians you see very detached. Manapamanayoh tulyaha. Always, all these qualifications you can see in them. So are they jnanis? And in Bible there is a statement. Give a slap on one cheek, show the other cheek. You do to it, some politician, he will also show the other cheek. Only thing, put vote to me. Any times you can slap. Sthira prajnasya ka bhasha. His prajna is sthitam, means not working. So, there is something very profound here. So, real sannyasa. So, somebody asked Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, should I not renounce? Then Bhagavan said, know the self. Then you will know that the self has already renounced everything. It is not that easy to understand this statement. When you recognize the self, you will recognize that the freedom from bondage is inherent there. It is the very nature of the being. So, one side you have to prepare yourself from too much attachment. So, Bhakti Marga we will say, get attached to Bhagavan, get attached to Satsanga, then naturally you will move away from Dussanga, that will pollute you. That is all necessary as a preparation. But at last you will understand that true purity cannot happen by practice. Vaisharadyam tu vainasti bhede vicharatam sada. Mandukya Karika says, purity, highest purity is not possible as long as you remain in the plane of duality. So, this knowledge of Atma, Atma Jnanam, if it is possible for the person to directly go to that center, one moment he will be free. Absolutely free. And his Nisangata, his Shama, his sannyasa is true. So here Krishna is talking about sannyasa. We can understand. He was always active. Right from the night on which he was born. Started traveling in rain. And went to Mathura, then to Gokulam, then again coming back to Mathura, all fight politics. He had no time for his own, constantly engaged till his last day. Always around there were problems. We are thinking, let me settle my problem, then I will be peaceful. In Krishna's life, you will find there was no moment when there were no problems. One problem he will end, another problem will come. Kamsa he killed, then started the real problem, Jarasandha. Every day coming with a huge army. If you go to Krishna and tell him, Bhagavan bless me so that I will not have problem, Krishna will tell you, you find something and tell me. If there, because I have not found it, because constantly problem. And amidst that, he remained untouched, asparsha. So this is the sannyasa which he is going to speak now. The outer sannyasa, ashrama sannyasa, that is different. Brahmacharya ashrama, grihasthashrama, vanaprasthashrama, sannyasashrama. This is the order of life. A person attains sannyasa, it is actually a preparation for the last release. Before nature is going to snatch away everything, you give up. Then there is absolute peace within you. In old age, the person becomes completely free. That is the ashrama sannyasa. But by outward sannyasa alone, a person cannot achieve jnanam. So generally we can say, even outer sannyasa is the fruit of jnanam. When the inner jnanam comes, in our sampradaya, there are two types of sannyasa. One is vividisha sannyasa and vidvat sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa is 99% generally in the world, it is vividisha sannyasa. After they become dispassionate, virakta, and go to join some ashram or some teacher and take sannyasa, they don't get married, or after marriage also somewhere they take sannyas, and after that they do sadhana. then Vedanta Shravana or something after that. They have not attained, but they are seeking that. They are seekers. And very rarely Vidvat Sannyasa, in Brahmacharya Ashrama or Grihastha Ashrama, a person attains Jnanam. He can very well stay there itself. But either due to Guru Ajna or due to some other prompting, or Vidyaranya Swami says, for Jnana Raksha, to give up all non-essential activities in the world, non-essential ritualistic activities also, he walks out. That is called Vidvat Sannyasa. Nigama Kalpataroho Galitam Phalam. That is Vidvat Sannyasa. The fruit is very ripe, it naturally falls. So this is the usual order. But here Bhagavan is not speaking about that. He is speaking about a kind of deep spirituality which can keep the person undisturbed in the center of his destiny, prarabdha. Whatever may happen around, that is why they have selected the battlefield. In the battlefield, to remain unruffled. Asparsha Yoga. This yoga is named as Asparsha Yoga. Yoga of detachment, touchlessness. No contact. Inwardly the person is remaining like Venne, Navanitam, butter, separated. Ramakrishna says, you mix water and curd, they will get mixed. But after churning and separating the butter, it will not get mixed. Like that, the jnanam is attained, then you find that spiritual detachment within you, which Krishna calls as sannyasa yoga. This is a special yoga. This is needed, necessary for everyone. One has to train oneself. This discipline, you can say sannyasa has various definitions. One definition for sannyasa is discipline. A person who is disciplined is a free person. And sannyasa means clarity, jnanam. And there is bhakti sannyasa also. We have to speak about it. In Ramanuja Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Vallabha Sampradaya, of course, they do not have. So this sannyasa sampradaya, in bhakti, there it is not jnanam, it is bhakti. In fact, even Advaita Sampradaya, many sadhus, sannyasis, they stay only in that plane, that bhakti. Upasana, puja, anushtanam, like that. So that keeps the person happy. You know some sadhana, some spiritual practice with which you can keep yourself engaged in a divine way. You know a method to elevate you inwardly, spiritually. And you enjoy that solitude. See, the whole life you train yourself like that, and after retirement, life becomes very sweet. Otherwise, see, everyone speak about youth only. All this cinema, will anyone take film on a retired person? Tata party? Only some hero, very young. And the person might be 80 years old, he will act as a young person. Because people think that life happens only there. No. When you actually know, when you become retired, then the real sweetness of life happens. Because mostly you are free. First of all, you need not go to school. And you need not think, what should I achieve in life? Most people, they cannot have this ideal of, I will renounce sannyasa, meditation. No. Mostly you have some worldly ideal, that is gone. And your children, they are all grown up. How much freedom you think? And still constantly thinking about all old nonsense. Vriddhastavat chinta saktaha. That is why Shankaracharya said, fool, moodhamate, angam galitam, palidam mundam, dashana vihinam, jatam tundam, vriddho yati grihitva dandam, tatapina munchati, asha pindam. All dumb. Tatavina munchati asha pindam. All the limbs, they have become loose. The screw is all loose, no tight. Head is completely clean. You need not go to any barber. Looks like a mirror. Or very white and no teeth. It looks like a purse without zip. Then also the person is attached. Asha Pindam, he calls him as a flesh packet made of asha, desire. So, that kind of thing should not happen. See, all of you, many of you are sitting here listening Bhagavad Gita, and there is this joy of sadhana. So when you grow old, gracefully grow old. Have this ideal of sannyasa. You need not wear ochre cloth, you need not tonsure the head, but in your home, griham itself becomes ashrama. There you have a sadhana, a Bhagavad Puja, Sadgrantha Parayana, disciplined life. You can practice some yoga, some walking, and constant japa. That is a separate subject. You have to have a disciplined routine from morning to night. You should not allow the mind to think. Should be engaged in divine satsanga. Constant satsanga. If you train, discipline yourself like this, old age will be the most beautiful thing in life. And children, grandchildren, they all look at the tata, pati with so much love, and they also carry an ideal inside them. I know many youngsters who were in America, one or two at least, very clearly they said, when we were in that rat race there, suddenly I remembered my grandfather who used to do Sandhyavandanam, meditate, read and lead a very peaceful life that was haunting me with an ecstatic nostalgia. And I decided one day to come back. I know some of those. Because that ideal goes inside. That inspiring ideal goes inside. That hermit-like life, it inspires from within. So, life really becomes enjoyable. Even great kings, they left their kingdom, went to forest to do tapasya in their old age. Shaishave abhyasta vidyānam, yauvane vishayeshinam, vardhake munivrittinam, yogenante tanutyajam. How they gave up this Ichvaku Vamsha, Surya Vamsha kings. When they were all children, they studied. In youth, naturally, legitimate way, you deserve enjoyment. And when you grow old, tapas, munivritti. Munivritti is sannyasa actually. The Abhastamba Sutra, Gautama Sutra, it says munivratam. In Bhagavata also says munivrato mukta samastha sangha. So Munivrata is sannyasa. So Munivratam, and the person gives up his body in yoga, not by disease, not by suffering, very peacefully, very gracefully leaves his body. So that is a great ideal. Okay. So now Arjuna is asking Krishna. They are friends. So Arjuna says, "O Bhagavan, you speak about sannyasa yoga and also karma yoga. Of the two, which is better one? Should I give up everything as a sannyasi, or should I act in the world as a karma yogi? Which should I select?" So this is the question. Here there is a story. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's presence had the power to induce the state of dispassion in many. A householder devotee is said to have complained to the sage, "Bhagavan, I find family life quite unconducive for pursuing spiritual practice. It is challenging to do self-enquiry while working in the world. Shall I renounce the field of action and take to sannyasa?" The sage smiled compassionately and replied, "What has the world or family done to you that you want to renounce them? They are all in your mind. Now you think yourself to be a householder. If you were to renounce and don ochre robes, you would think yourself to be a sannyasi. In both cases, you identify yourself with the body. So, find out the truth. Who am I? Am I this body? What is my real nature? And realize your true nature, then sannyasa will happen to you as jnanam." This was Bhagavan's advice. So, Bhagavan, see, these Mahapurushas, they know that very rarely people are qualified for outer sannyasa. It is not good for, generally, in my opinion, Vidvat sannyasa is sannyasa. You have to attain jnanam in brahmacharya ashrama or grihastha ashrama, then if naturally it happens, nothing wrong. Otherwise, quite possible the person will get into trouble. So, the true thing, outer sannyasa is not recommended. In bhakti marga, we say you train yourself, detachment, have bhakti to Bhagavan, then everything will happen. You have love for Bhagavan, all other things will fall off. And have the constant nama in your tongue. It will purify you. Simple bhakti while doing your action in the world. So such kind of bhakti sannyasa is advisable for all. Okay. So, there are two paths in the Vedic way. The first is path of action, called pravritti marga, and the other is path of renunciation, sannyasa marga. These two are there in the Vedic path. In the previous chapter, Bhagavan described the state where one is incessantly active in the yoga state. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. You fight and remember me also. Yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. All these things Bhagavan said. So confused by this, Arjuna asked this question, "O Krishna, O Madhava, why are you trying to confuse me? You say renounce the action, and then you say perform the action as karma yoga. Please tell me which is the better of these two." This question posits the teaching, yoga is sannyasa. Bhagavan speaks of this later. It is only through renunciation that one finds the sweetness of life. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. By renunciation you enjoy. The Upanishad says real renunciation is the real enjoyment. The one who has completely renounced enjoys fully. This is the secret of life, which we must learn from the enlightened beings. They alone know this secret. Renounce all desires and renounce the desirer too. This is the highest renunciation. The moment we renounce the ego, our very existence becomes spiritually dynamic. This evokes a strange power that can heal all of us, heal all. This renunciation is the highest accomplishment. Then one becomes a mighty force in the hand of Ishvara. A holy power enters him and works through him. This Bhagavan Ramana used to very often say, Mahashakti, one Mahashakti, it is already there, but you become aware of it. You become, Ramakrishna used to very often say, I am Yantra and you, Divine Mother, you are Yantri. You are behind making me work. I am only a machine. I am an instrument. You are using me. I am just a yantra in your hand. So this is the attitude of a bhakta. Anyway, so here Arjuna asks, what should I do? And Bhagavan says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogasya
Karma Yogascha
Nishreyasakara Vubho
Nishreyasakara Vubho
Tayostu Karma Sannyasat
Tayostu Karma Sannyasa
Karma Yogo Vishishyate
Karma Yogo Vishishyate.
Sannyasa and Karma Yoga, both are great. Karma Yoga here means Pravritti Marga. And sannyasa means the nivritti marga, renunciation. Both are great. But tayohotu, in between them, karma yoga is greater. Bhagavan is telling Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, karmanyeva adhikaraste. You have right only to karma. So to you, it is greater. And the same Bhagavan, when he speaks to Uddhava, he says, even if you feel like acting in the world, don't do it. Renounce. So the teaching is for the disciple. The answer is for the questioner. And very rarely a person comes who deserves absolute renunciation. And that too actually can happen only through jnanam. Both. So that is very rare. When Bhagavan Ramana told that Grihastha, you need not renounce. You remain in your family and do your duty without doership, attachment. That family man asked Bhagavan, then why did you give up and come to Tiruvannamalai? Why did you renounce? Bhagavan said, the power which pulled me, if it has pulled you, you would not be asking like this. That was my prarabdha. So for everyone it happens according to their maturity, their destiny. So no imitation will work. Spirituality cannot be there when you try to imitate somebody. It is not possible. You have to, in the beginning, some kind of ideal, some kind of inspiration will help you. But after certain period, you will find it does not fit with you. Your upadhi, your karma vasana, your samskara is different. So you have to somehow churn out an original style, way of life, which will help you according to your prarabdha. That there lies the true art. But for all that, jnanam is important. And yogam, karma yoga is also important. So, okay. So, Bhagavan here says, in between these two, karma yoga vishishyate. In Ramayana also, Bharata tells Rama, why did you renounce and go to forest? Chaturnam ashramanam hi garhasthitim shreshta muchyate. This grihastha ashram is very shreshta. Why did you renounce? Rama has actually not renounced, but something like vanaprastha he took. So wherever they are, there is the answer. So here to Arjuna, Bhagavan says, karma yoga is shrestha. Because, simply outward renunciation will not do. You should have the inner spiritual flowering. Recently somebody asked, should I give up my job and meditate? And we had a discussion, and then later on, they themselves understood, while working also I can meditate. Many people they say, many people they have satsanga in traffic jam, listening. While driving they listen. And if you really want Bhagavan, you can get him everywhere. If you really want to do sadhana, anywhere you can do sadhana. It is possible. In kitchen, working you can do. In office also you can do. You have to find out the sadhana that you can do. There lies the real efficiency, skill, kaushalam. So, karma yoga, Bhagavan speaks, karma yoga is great. And Bhagavan says, who is sannyasi? Next sloka. It's all about the inner sannyasi. Who is sannyasi? Third sloka. Jneyasya nithya sannyasi.
Jneyasya nithya sannyasi.
Yo na dveshti na kamshati.
Yo na dveshti na kamshati.
Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho.
Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho.
Sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
Sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
Jneyaha saha. He should be known as Nithya sannyasi, ever the sannyasi. Who is that? Yaha na dveshti na kamshati. One who neither hates nor desires. Too ambitious. Nirdvandvaha. He is free of all this dualistic process of good, bad. I like this, I don't like that. All that is free. Because every dvandva contains the ego. So that dvandva, dualistic conflict, inner conflict is not there. Such a person very easily becomes free. Kottanguchi madhuru. Like the coconut shell, when it truly becomes ripe, you shake it like this, kudu kudu kudu. Inwardly it gets separated, naturally. But before that, even if you do the charave, it will be sticking there. That coconut will be sticking there. You cannot take it completely. But when it is ripe, naturally it gets separated. So this is Urvarukamiva bandhanad mrityor mukshiyam amritam. Urvarukam, it will not get separated from that creeper. It stays there and explodes. You can say it is Jivan Mukti. You can also say, in the workaday world, the person becomes liberated. So, Nyayasa Nithya sannyasi. He should be known as a Nithya sannyasi. His sannyasa is natural. In another places, Bhagavan calls it Nithya yoga. Bodhajanya yoga. The yoga is not based on the mental state. It is based on the Atma, the self. When you know the self, you know it is eternally free. Nisangada is natural. So it is when by that knowledge, by that recognition, the person becomes a Nithya sannyasi. He never hates anything. Life will bring many anubhava. First sign of a bhakta or a yogi is no hatred. Because if I hate someone, the first person who gets polluted is me. My mind becomes polluted. Sometimes he will not be even knowing that I am hating him. See, people sit here and hate chief minister or prime minister or American president or Iran president here, and they will not know you are hating. You are cursing this man, that man, they will not know. But your digestion gets affected. In sleep also that comes. Who is getting affected? You are getting affected. That is one way of looking at it. Another way is you really have Bhagavad Bhakti. The first thing that goes away from you is hatred. Dvesha. Bhagavan says, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. No question of hating anyone. Not only that, positive, Naitraha, friendship. What are you going to lose? Anywhere you can find friends. Maitraha. And Karuna, compassion, dynamic, going and giving the help that is needed. The first thing is no hatred. Second, a companionship. Third, dynamic. Nirmamaha nirahankaraha, that is sannyasa lakshana. No mine, no I. Such a one is, Bhagavan says, true bhakta. And he is very dear to me. Anyway, so here Bhagavan says a real sannyasi, a spiritual person. Now leave that word sannyasi constantly, you will get off. Okay, bhakta or a yogi, he neither hates nor is expecting something to happen in future to fulfill life. That is basic problem. If I get this, I will be happy. So, you are expecting happiness to come in some future date. Next year, January 1st. Someone will give me something. And all these expectations, when we were all children, the joy is next celebration. Especially some celebration in the village, Rathotsava, something, oh joy, happiness, it will come next Friday. And that Friday night, mind becomes so gloomy because tomorrow nothing will be there. And the whole place will be vacant, everyone will go. Shunyam. In my younger days, I experienced this many times. Then I decided no more Rathotsavam. Every Atma Rathireva Syat. No question of this, because this outer things gives you that excitement and depression. It goes to that height and tips down. So you learn this pendulating, ding dong, and then you understand
I should find the balance. One definition of yoga by Bhagavan is samatvam yoga uchyate. It is the equilibrium, it is the balance, it is the samasthiti. So yo na dveshti, no hatred. Sometimes it is not about hating anybody, it is not wanting something to happen in your life. You cannot be certain about that. Life will bring many things. Nonsensical things will happen. Absurd things will happen. When such things happen, first our intellect will go, why? Why did it happen to me? If it happens to my neighbor, it's okay. Just one lizard will do. So mere acting, nothing. But if it happens to me, why Bhagavan you have done to me? I have done this, I have done that puja, I have done this. Bhagavan says, if you have done all that, that is why I have all this talk. So I thought you are very dear to me, so why not give it to you? I thought you will be able to endure it. So, when such things come to our life, we have to know that this is all impermanent, only for ashashvata. It will also go. And our own life will go. Our anchor is not in these outer things, in the shashvata vastu, the nithya vastu. So, Yona dveshti, when some event comes, when destiny invades you, many people, they come to spiritual life after such a powerful invasion of destiny. It is very sad, but what to do? Things will happen like that. Sorrow comes, terrible sorrow comes. And for me, or those who are like us, traveling and meeting people, we hear so many stories. That is also a lesson. Then you know that when something happens to one person, they will think it is only happening to him. When you expand your vision, then you find everywhere, only the event, the pattern will change, but the intensity is same. In one form or the other. So better learn to abide in the center where nothing can touch you. And do not hate anything. Something comes, swallow it. When Sadhu, formerly in his Grihastha-ashrama, he had terrible experiences. So he was crying to Bhagavan one day. He was crying to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, why did this happen, this happen? And he heard a Ashariri vak. He said that words, that voice, it said, in your last birth also you came to me in the same kind of prarabdha, help me, rescue me, rescue me. Then I helped you. But this is your last birth. Here no power can help you. Swallow it, digest it, assimilate it. These are the three words. Swallow it, digest it, and assimilate it, absorb it into your system. And it becomes the greatest spiritual power. A person who get acclimatized then a strength comes. Like that, when a person goes through all this experience, a courage arises in you. He knows how to deal with that. From that comes compassion in great saints. So many saints, even Buddha's life, the story goes that he had vision of many births. It is not for him, but many Mahatmas had that. So they know that I had this bad experience. It need not be some kind of vision. The impression is there inside you. You can very well understand and identify with anyone. That makes the person very compassionate. And that compassion is the sign of true spiritual fullness. So no hatred towards any experience, any event, anything that might happen to you. You might cry, but you will know it is what life is. We have to swallow it. It is not that you will not get affected. You will get affected, but you don't expect that it should not have happened. This is life. There is deep, profound understanding about life, not adjustment. So, yo na dveshti, no hatred, na kamshati, not expecting some imaginary things to happen in his life. I will get this. In younger days it is okay, but you grow old, you have to really grow old. Inwardly become mature. Then, na kamshati, no kamcha, no desire. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Sometimes, many people, they grow physically old, but inwardly remain very balaha, ignorant, childish. No clue about life. And expecting something to happen even in very old age. I once went to an old age home, Mumbai, near Mumbai. There was a Bhagavad Saptaha there. Very old people were there. One person was 75 years old. I was talking to him. I said, he said, this is all that things. Then I asked him about his family. He said, father, mother, I was not married. Oh, you are not married? No. He was asking, if I get married now, it will not look good. Okay. I said, very good. He's 75-year-old, he is asking, and I told him, whether it is good or bad, looking good or bad, even 20, 30 years they are not getting married. Not possible. And you are 75, still hoping to get something. So this is impossible desires. Anyway, Bhagavan is very compassionate. Another janma. You can get, any times you can get married. All these things you have to go through. So, nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. The person goes beyond all this dualistic process. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. He goes out of this bondage very, very easily in a simple way. You will not even know how you became free. Pazham nalvi paalla vizhunda madrinu solluvom. Tamil, very beautiful usage. It's like a banana, you catch hold of the skin of banana and do it like this. It will fall into the milk. Like that, very easily the person gets free. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Renunciation is the fragrance of realization. In the case of great sages, it is like that. For finding true peace, whether one takes up outer renunciation or not, inner renunciation is must. Such inner renunciation can happen only by jnana. The very nature of the self is absolute freedom. Nothing sticks to it. We have already spoken about all that. So knowing the self is sannyasa yoga. So here Bhagavan says Nithya sannyasi. And now the next verse. Sankhya yoga pratak balaha
Sankhya yoga prathak bala
pravadanti na panditaha ekamapyasthita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Sankhya means jnana. Yoga means karma yoga. Both are same. If you stick to any of this, you will attain the completion, the fullness. It is only the spiritually childish ones and not the wise who speak of Sankhya, the path of knowledge, as distinct from Karma Yoga, path of action. Prithak means different. Balaha natu sthanandayaha. Balaha. Ajnani, avidyavan. So, such a one, they only think that this is different, that is different. Sankhya in Gita means Jnana Yoga. And Yoga means many places it is Karma Yoga. Jnanam is regarding the self, Karma is the bodily activity. Ekamapi, it all depends upon where the person is, what his nature is. See, spiritually, you cannot give the same instruction to everyone. Some are inherently bhaktas. So for them, bhakti is the path. For them, bhakti is the path. So to them, the Guru has to say, you hold on to Bhagavan, that is enough. Vadanti tat tattvavidaha tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. Some people call it as Bhagavan, some as Paramatma, some as Brahma. It is Advayam Jnanam, that non-dual Jnanam. The Anubhuti is same. So some have the samskar of bhakti. So in that samskar of bhakti, you have Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhagavad Prema, and you consider the entire world as Bhagavan's form. And when you work, you are not working, you are doing Bhagavad Puja. For a true bhakta, this work itself becomes naturally worship. Bhagavad Aradhana Lakshano Dharmaha, Dharma Projhita Kaitavaha. No seeking of desire. He is worshipping Bhagavan in all these forms. In all this name and form, he is seeing Narayana. Vishwam Vishnu. This Vishwam itself is Vishnu. This universe is Bhagavan's first avatara. Bhagavata says it is not Matsya avatara. Bhagavata says this Jagat is his first avatara. Adyovatara Purushah Parasya. It is the Adya avatara. Is this world. He appeared as this world, so it is divine. And you are acting, you know that Bhagavan is making you act, and to whomsoever you are giving something, it is to Bhagavan, then your action itself becomes a great spiritual experience. Bhagavan in Gita calls it as what? What? Brahma Karma Samadhi. The person is dynamic, but he is Brahmanishta, he is in Samadhi. For certain people, it is very easy for them. Certain service-oriented people, they are Nirguna Bhaktas. Bhagavata calls them as Nirguna Bhakta, the highest Bhakta. He is not even attached to his own inner pleasure, not even the pleasure of bhakti. Kapila Bhagavan says, he will not even accept Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sayujyam. Even if I give him, Diyamanam na grinnanti. Vina mat sevaya janaha. They only do the seva. Sevaya purnaha. They feel, by working I am in joy. By doing something for the world, I am not doing something for the world, I am worshipping Bhagavan. Bhagavan Ramana also told this. What is that sloka? Bhagavan Ramana told, Jagata Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrit Deva Pujanam. When you do seva, worship the Bhagavan in the form of world, then it is also Ashtamurti, Shiva. You are doing Shiva Puja, Shiva Radhana in that form. So if the person should be in that state, then there is no question of what he will get from work. There is no question of selfishness. And it becomes a great yoga for him, so that is good. Some others who outwardly also renounce and stay completely absorbed in their inner being, that is also great. Without this inner state, if you outwardly renounce and stay, I know many who stay in some caves, some place in Himalayas, and they say, we renounced, we came here, and somehow we are managing, we have not got it, we have not attained that inner joy. Somehow we have taken to this path, not able to achieve anything. They have outwardly no disturbances, no attachment, no sangha, still not inwardly happy. And you can, other side you can see this karma yogi who is working in the world but spiritually alive. Inwardly he will, either as a bhakta constantly having Bhagavan Nama with him, chanting Bhagavan Nama, and looking at his seva, service as Bhagavad Aradhana. There, even though he is working, he is in an elevated state inwardly. You can see other side also. Somebody is working constantly in the world, getting attached to the work, becoming very egoistic, distracted. He is working not because that is spiritual practice, but because he cannot be otherwise. He is himself a disturbed person. He is throwing his disturbance, distributing his disturbance to others. So that all these various dimensions you will see spiritual seekers. So the inner state is what Bhagavan speaks about. If the inner, your heart has to tell you what you should do. There were great saints who were working all their life, including Krishna. There was a carpenter in Kerala, in the southern Kerala, who was a jnani. His Malayalam works are all jnana granthas are there. He had many disciples who were sannyasis. From him they got this jnanam and attained very high state like that. But he remained all his life as a carpenter. The thing is, whether they are outwardly working or have renounced, the inner state alone matters. So, Sankhya, Yoga, both are same, Bhagavan says, provided the inner Hritsthale Manaswasthata. Sometimes work can rescue you from the world. For last 35 years I have been working. If I have not been working, I would have got caught into many things. Because of this, somebody will come and call me for some marriage, I will say I have pravachanam. Someone will come and call me that in my house there is some celebration, you have to come, I have upanyasa. Some other worldly activity, they will invite, I have satsanga. And sometimes, even if no satsanga, I will make satsanga, so that I can tell them. So sometimes, this work is not work, this is aradhana. Bhagavad aradhana lakshano dharma. Sometimes you have some noble thing to do, don't try to give it up. Shubhayam vasana vruddhau tata dosho na kashana. As Yoga Vasishta says, Shubha Vasana is always not bad. It will not obstruct your inner peace. So you have some noble work to do. Better continue it till it falls away from you. It will help you spiritually also. It will keep you engaged and it will not disturb you also. I know when Mathadipati, he escaped from Matha because it was so much engagement and nobody could trace him, find him out for many years. He was a highly evolved soul and after many years they found him working as a security in an apartment. They asked him, why Swami you did this? That time he was not dressed like that. He said, I found very calm, very spiritual because no work to do. Opening the gate, closing the gate, nothing else. One condition, you should not sleep in night. That is also very suitable for me. Meditating whole night. The person chose that. After he was found out, of course, he left that place. So, Sankhya Yoga Pratak Balaha Pravadanti Na Panditaha. The ignorant ones, they say, working or non-working, living in the world, going away from the world. Where will you go away from the world? What will you... Bhagavan Ramana said, you have no freedom to renounce or retain. What is destined to happen will happen. So real renunciation is jnanam. So if you have that jnanam, whether your prarabdha is to work or whether your prarabdha is to stay alone, you are free. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yaha pashyati sapashyati. The supreme state attained by the Sankhya yogi is also reached by the karma yogi. He who sees the same essence in both paths is the true seer of reality. Yat sankhehi prapyate sthanam. Tad yogairapi gamyate. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yaha pashyati sapashyati. One who says he is not bothered about outer work or renunciation, he is knowing that inner state alone matters. Such a one is a real knower of this secret. So, this is the sannyasa yoga, few verses that we will see tomorrow. And okay, our Vyoma Linguistic Labs Foundation, they have published very precious books. They are doing wonderful job. So many great works are published and they are teaching also many people Samskrita, Shastra. So, they have published Narayanam, Srimad Narayanam. A big commentary also they have published. And here it is Narayanam with simple meaning. Very... Moolam attundana? Yes. This is only Moolam. Only Narayana Slokas, you can do Parayanam. Some gist is given everywhere in the beginning of the Dashakam. gist is given. So this is Srimad Narayaniyam they have published, and Acharya Prashasti. This is a very unique work. Whoever has written verses on Shankaracharya, praising Bhagavad Pada, all those slokas are collected and put here. This is Acharya Prashasti. This is, you can buy these books from here. It is all available. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva,
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Yato mamatma bhavasi tumeva tato na vachyam mama kinjitasti yatha taveshtam kurumam tathaiva tvam atmanatham ramanam bhajami. Naleki katala 10 maniki Viveka Chudamani.
Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jana Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Jaya Adya Vaidya Gita Vishada Roga Bhaje Pradatta Sarvatapahari Divya Bheshaje Veda Kedara Si Bheda Kedadi Roga Nashane Tyanta Shakta Mukti Bheshaja. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Tvameva Madhavokta Samasta Bhedahantri Sankhya Karma Bhakti Yoga Mukti Varidhe Sadatamatma Samstham Kalayamanasam Tvam Vihaya Sarva Chintamiti Pragayasi. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Swalpamapyadhita Nikhila Moha Jetri Sakala Dukkha Jala Tula Sabala Vatula Tvadiya Divyavani Satata Parinishevam Devi Diyatam No Brahmavadini. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Ashesha Vedasaram Sakha Paratma Tattvam Samara Vimukha Chittam Sakhayam Abravit. Tvameva Sati Guhya Nirasta Moha Shoka Punascha Badarayane Gita Vaibhava. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Prapadya Mamananyam Vimuncha Sarvadharman Ashesha Papa Muktatam Tvamashu Gachasi. Avapnuyascha Shantim Sthitim Cha Shashvatim Tvam Iti Pragarjayantim Bhajami Mataram. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. Jaya Bhagavad Gita Krishna Hridaya Jate Jaya Jaya Hari Gita Janani Vandanam. जय जय हरिगीते जननि वन्दनम्